I just wanted to read all of Nahum. Not that anyone, can't read themselves or something. It's pretty short. There's some words in his word that actually exist in his word. It just it just becomes so much more obvious as time goes that the teachings, they're just amazing. The prophecy is amazing. What evil is and what it does is amazing to me. There's just 3 chapters here. Let's see. Yeah, 3. Burden against Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum, El Koshite. Elohim's wrath on his enemies. Elohim is jealous, and Yahuwah avenges. Well, the things I've been saying about his judgments, it's all over his word. I mean, even just simple words, just who he is. Elohim is jealous, and Yahuwah avenges. Yah avenges and is furious. People take these words seriously, or is it a lie? He's not furious. No, he's not furious at all. Yahuwah will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserves wrath for his enemies. We read something about preserved in everlasting chains, reserved. It's in his word. He reserves wrath for his enemies. Yah is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked, or to let go. As his way, in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebukes the sea and makes it dry. The sea is the peoples, the waters, and dries up all the rivers. Bashan and Carmel wither, and the flower of Lebanon wilts. The mountains quake before him, the hills melt, and the earth heaves. Targum reads burns. The earth heaves at his presence. Yes, the world and all who dwell in it. The world and all who dwell in it. Who can stand before his indignation? This is in Revelation, as all of Revelation is like pieces of his prophecy in Scripture, perfectly put together in a book of its own, which is not truly of its own. It's all one. Speaking about the war, the good and evil, battle, the spiritual war, knowing Messiah, things to come. Who can stand before his indignation, and who can endure the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. Yahuwah is good, a stronghold in a day of trouble, and he knows those who trust in him. But with an overflowing flood, Red Sea, he will make an utter end of its place, and darkness will pursue his enemies. Darkness will pursue his enemies. Part of the punishment is to be in continual darkness, being pursued by it, blind. What do you conspire against Yah? He will make an utter end of it. Affliction will not rise up a second time. For while tangled like thorns and while drunken like drunkards, we read about this drunkenness in Revelation too. They shall be devoured like stubble fully dried. From you comes forth who plots evil against Yah, a wicked counselor. Thus says Yahuwah, though they are safe and likewise many, yet in this manner they will be cut down when he passes through. Though I have afflicted you, I will afflict you no more. For now I will break off his yoke from you and burst your bonds apart. Well, these things should already be becoming true in part, but not fully fulfilled yet. Yahuwah has given a command concerning you. Your name shall be perpetuated no longer. Out of the house of your gods, I will cut off the carved image and the molded image. In the molded image, I will dig your grave, for you are vile. Who? Your name shall be perpetuated no longer. Out of the house of your God's house I will cut off your carved image and the molded image. I will dig your grave, for you are vile. Behold on the mountains the feet of him who bring good tidings. We read the apostle quotes this. Anyone who has good news, the feet of him who brings good tidings, who proclaims peace, the Father's peace, Messiah's peace, not the world's peace. Devil saying peace all the time and doesn't know what it means. It means war. Yes, it does. O Judah, keep your appointed feast. I must by all means keep this feast in Jerusalem, the apostle said, because it's the heart that's keeping the commandments. It is about that and it's not about that. O Judah, keep your appointed feast. Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie. We have nothing to do with Judah at all, no connection. Grafted into the olive tree, grafted in to become one with Israel, the olive tree. Israel, Judah, Jacob, Abraham, all of it. O Judah, keep your appointed feast. That's a command for the heart at the right time by the Creator to give to his people. Perform your vows, for the wicked one shall no more pass through you. He is utterly cut off. He who scatters has come up before your face. Man the fort, watch the road, strengthen your flanks, fortify your power mightily. Oh, it's a war. For Yahuwah will restore the excellence of Jacob. Spirit, all of Israel, spiritually, like the excellence of Israel. For the emptiers have emptied them out, and ruined their vine branches. The shields of his mighty men are made red. The valiant men are in scarlet. The chariots come with flaming torches in the day of his preparation, and the spears are brandished. We read some other thing. Footnote says, horses rush about, reeds, Vulgate reeds, drivers are stupefied, brandish. The chariots rage in the streets. They jostle one another in the broad roads. They seem like torches. They run like lightning. He remembers his nobles. They stumble in their walk. They make haste to her walls. And the defense is prepared. The gates of the rivers are open, and the palace is dissolved. It is decreed. She shall be led away captive. She shall be brought up, and her maidservant shall lead her as with the voice of doves beating their breasts. Though Nineveh of old was like a pool of water, how now they flee away. Halt, halt, they cry. But no one turns back. Take spoil of silver, take spoil of gold. There is no end of treasure or wealth of every desirable prize. She is empty, desolate, and waste. The heart melts and the knees shakes. Much pain is in every side, and all their faces are drained of color. Where is the dwelling of the lions and the feeding place of the young lions, where the lion walked, the lioness and lion's cub, and no one made them afraid? The lion tore in pieces enough for his cubs, killed for his lionesses, filled his caves with prey, and his dens with flesh. Behold, I am against you, says Yahuwah of hosts. I will burn your chariots in smoke, and the sword shall devour your young lions. I will cut off your prey from the earth, and the voice of your messengers shall be heard no more. The voice of the bridegroom, the harlot, her light will shine no more. We read that in Revelation. Here it is. The voice of your messengers shall be no more. He's against them. There's evil messengers and there's good messengers. Two things. Good because of the Father's good. Nobody's good themselves. Can't contradict his word. None are righteous, not even one. None seek him. None do good, not even one is able to do good or seek him. It doesn't mean that there aren't a few in the Father and Messiah, and then they can be called good, because to call the Father's good is to be evil, but not of themselves. Voice of the messenger shall be heard no more. Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies and robbery. Its victim never departs. Sharp words, never departs. The noise of a whip and the noise of rattling wheels, of galloping horses, of clattering chariots. Horsemen charge with bright sword and glittering spear. There is a multitude of slain, a great number of bodies, countless corpses. They stumble over the corpses because of the multitude of the harlotries, of the seductive harlot. Look at all the death going on. Woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery. Its victim never departs. The noise of a whip and the noise of rattling wheels, of galloping horses, clattering chariots. Horsemen charge with bright sword and glittering spear. There is a multitude of slain, a great number of bodies, countless corpses. They stumble over the corpses because of the multitude of harlotries, of the seductive harlot, the mistress of sorceries, spiritual spell that I'm seeing. All of these things starting to see. It's crazy. The mistress of sorceries who sells nations through her harlotries and families through her sorceries. In Revelation, the merchandise, scripture, all the merchandise, and then the body, the soul of men is also exchanged like merchandise. We read there, just thrown in there with merchandise. Here it is again. The multitude of harlotry, of the seductive harlot, the mistress of sorceries. Father's never wrong. Who sells nations through her harlotries. Yet sell them and buy them like merchandise, and families through her sorceries. Behold, I am against you, says Yahuwah of hosts. I will lift your skirts over your face. I will show the nations your nakedness, and the kingdoms your shame. I will cast abominable filth upon you, make you vile, and make you a spectacle. It shall come to pass that all who look upon you will flee from you and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Where shall I seek comforters for you? Babylon, Babylon is fallen. No, Babylon and all the merchandise and the ships and buying and selling. Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? Where shall I seek comforters for you? I will show the nations your nakedness. I'm saying this hasn't been fully fulfilled. This hasn't been fulfilled. The whole world is not in agreement with the Creator, our Father, and Messiah. And the kingdoms, the kings are all over the world right now. The God of this world, Satan. I will show the nations your nakedness and the kingdoms your shame. Yes, because everyone is going to be exposed, every secret thing. Like Adam and Eve, the picture. Exposed as naked. Take off the covering, bit right off. The fig leaves, the cover, the harlotry, seductress, the sorceries. Show the nations your nakedness and the kingdoms your shame. I will cast abominable filth upon you, and make you vile, make you a spectacle. It shall come to pass all who look will flee. Okay, where shall I seek comforters for you? Are you better than Nahum at populous Alexandria? Are you better than Alexandria, Nahum, that was situated by the river, that is the Nile and the surrounding canals, that had the waters around her, whose rampart was the sea, whose wall was the sea? Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength, and it was boundless. Put and Lubim were your helpers. Yet she was carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed to pieces at the head of every street. They cast lots for her on men, and all her great men were bound in chains. You also will be drunk. You will be hidden. You also will seek refuge from the enemy. All your strongholds are fig trees with ripened figs. If they are shaken, they fall into the mouth of the eater. I guess not so strong then. All your strongholds are fig trees with ripened figs if they are shaken. Messiah says something about this. Shaken, the heavens shaken, These things are always true, though. Surely your people in your midst are women. The gates of your land are wide open for your enemies. Fire shall devour the bar of your gates. Draw your water for the siege. Fortify your strongholds. Go into the clay and tread the mortar. Make strong the brick kiln. There the fire will devour you. The sword will cut you off. It will eat you up like a locust. We read something about that too in Revelation. Locusts taking all the green, all the good, all the life. Father does this. There is no life in the wicked. Make yourself many like the locust. Make yourself many like the swarming locust. You have multiplied your mercy more than the stars of heaven. Oh my goodness, is that true today? Not that it was never true, it was always true, but how is it not more true now than ever before? What will divisions and enemies come to do that exist, that specialize in a handcrafted delusion given them? They'll teach that Noah's day and things were, that there was technology way greater than now, and all these things were way greater, and giants, the 450-foot things, we're going to see 4,000-foot giants. Always true, but worse now than ever before. We read something about merchandise and merchants in Revelation. It's in the scripture. You have multiplied your merchants more than the stars of heaven. It's the heart and why it does this that's evil. The locust plunders and flies away. Your commanders are like swarming locusts, and your generals like great grasshoppers, which clamp in the hedges on a cold day, when the sun rises away, and the place where they are is not known. That's interesting. Only in the dark, only in the cold, a little bit of light, a little bit of heat, they're gone, and their place is not known. Your shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria. Your nobles rest in the dust. Your people are scattered on the mountains, and no one gathers them. Your injury has no healing. Your wound is severe. All who hear news of you will clap their hands over you, for upon whom has not your wickedness passed continually? Wow. One of those rhetorical questions we know the answer to. For upon whom has not your wickedness passed continually? Nobody. It's passed continually everywhere. And that's it. Nahum 1, 2, 3. A little bit of Habakkuk right away. Someone, the prophet, asking him, how long shall I cry? And you will not say, why do you show me iniquity? Cause me to see trouble. For plundering and violence are before me. There is strife and contention arises. Therefore the law is powerless, and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous. Therefore perverse judgment proceeds. Look among the nations and watch, be utterly astounded. Well, that's in Revelation. It's in Daniel. Look among the nations and watch, be utterly astounded. For I will work a work in your days, which you would not believe though it were told you. It's interesting when he's something deep in the spirit to see, and you say the words and you don't even realize sometimes you're just saying the words of his word. And when we see it and agree with it, because he showed us it, wouldn't even believe it, though we're told you. For indeed I am raising up the Chaldeans, a bitter and hasty nation, which marches through the breadth of the earth to possess dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful. The judgment and their dignity proceed from themselves. Their horses are also swifter than leopards, and more fierce than evening wolves. Their chargers charge ahead. Their cavalry comes from afar. They fly as the eagle that hastens to eat. They all come for violence. Their faces are set like the east wind. They gather captives like sand. They scoff at kings and princes and are scorned by them. They deride every stronghold, for they heap up earthen mounds and seize it. Then his mind changes and he transgresses. He commits offense, ascribing this power to his God. Oh, we didn't make this up. That they build golden calves and then say their God does it. Their God teaches it, the golden calf. Here it is. His mind changes and he transgresses. He commits offense, ascribing the power to his God. Are you not from of old? O Yahuwah, my Elohim, my Holy One, we shall not die. Yahuwah, you have appointed them for judgment. O Rock, you have marked them for correction. Mark them, the mark of the beast, for correction. You are of purer eyes than to behold evil, and cannot look on wickedness. Why do you look on those who deal treacherously, and hold your tongue when the wicked devours a person more righteous than he? Why do you make men like fish of the sea, like creeping things that have no ruler over them? They take up all of them with a hook. They catch them in their net and gather them in their drag net. Therefore they rejoice and are glad. Therefore they sacrifice to their net and burn incense to their drag net. Because of them their share is sumptuous and their food plentiful. Shall they therefore empty their net and continue to slay nations without pity? Carnally filled up. So often we could read questioning the Creator as if he's like unrighteous. No reality to it. It's just something to behold and see. It's so bad. It's like these questions will come up. It has nothing to do with him letting people do whatever they want without punishment. Looks like I got an order. Write the vision and make it plain on tablets. Rigobertos, okay, well, looks like I'll have to stop. Beast is calling. Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Here's the scripture that the apostle, I think, quotes. Slightly different words maybe, but the same teaching. To wait, though it tarries, where it lingers, like it tarries. It's like waiting, lingering. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. It's not a contradiction. It's a period of time. It's waiting, but yet it's coming for real, and it will not tarry. He who comes will come, and not, what's the word in the New Testament there? It's basically this right here in Habakkuk, a little bit differently worded. He quotes it, not quite word for word that I can remember, but the same meaning. He who comes will not tarry. Yeah, it might even be the same word. In scripture, behold the proud, his soul is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. By his faith. That's quoted also, of course, it's all scripture. Indeed, because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, and he does not stay at home, because he enlarges his desire as hell, Sheol, and he is like death and cannot be satisfied. He gathers to himself all nations and heaps up for himself all peoples. Will not all these take up a proverb against him and a taunting riddle against him, and say, woe to him who increases? What is not his, how long? To him who loads himself with many pledges, thick clay. Will not your creditors rise up suddenly? Will they not awaken who oppress you? And you will become their booty, because you have plundered many nations. All the remnant of the people shall plunder you because of men's blood. The violence of the land and the city, and all who dwell in it. Woe to him who covets evil gain for his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of disaster. You give shameful counsel to your house, cutting off many peoples, and sin against your soul. For the stone will cry out from the wall, and the beam from the timbers will answer it. Woe to him who builds a town with bloodshed, who establishes a city by iniquity. Behold, it is not of Yahuwah of hosts, that the peoples labor to feed the fire. No lasting value. And nations weary themselves in vain. For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahuwah as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him, there's some scripture there. All will know him. So the good news will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Father as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him who gives drink to his neighbor, pressing him to your bottle, even to make him drunk, that you may look on his nakedness. You are filled with shame instead of glory. You also drink and be exposed as uncircumcised. The cup of Yahuwah's right hand will be turned against you. The utter shame will be on your glory. For the violence done to Lebanon will cover you, and the plunder of beasts which made them afraid, because of men's blood and the violence of the land and the city, and all who dwell in it. What profit is the image that its maker should carve it, the molded image, a teacher of lies, that the maker of its mold trust in it, to make mute idols. Woe to him who says to wood, awake, to silent stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is overlaid with silver, yet in it there is no breath at all. But Yahuwah is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him.